Big time fight coming up this weekend in our co-main event at women's flyweight, a division that's absolutely on fire. We have JoJo, Joanne Wood, taking on the once hyped prospect, I guess, Mexico's Alexa Grasso. And for Grasso, she had a lot of success at strawweight, and then she met some resistance. I mean, the Tatiana Suarez loss, the loss to Carla Esparza,
the loss to Felice Herrig.
Very upper echelon fighters. Notice how I didn't really mention Felice Herrig, but you consider some of the wins: Karolina Kowalkiewicz, the win over Ji Young Kim, a win over Macy Barber last time out. And the move up to flyweight was an opportunity to get into a division that wasn't so top heavy. So for Grasso, it's been a good move. She looked really, really good against Macy Barber. Great volume. Good job in the clinch. Good job defending some of those takedowns. I really, really liked what I saw out of Alexa Grasso a year ago. Yes, that fight was a year ago. So I'm eager to see, again, at 28, at this point in her career, what we can see out of Grasso, because we know exactly her style. Again, takedown defense, on point, boxing, good volume. You like to see it that way. When the takedowns are going through, again, Carla Esparza, Tatiana Suarez, so on and so forth.
It's a lot of lockdown.
That much is true. For Joanne Wood, we pretty much know the book on her. I mean, again, Marina Moroz in her UFC debut submits her, wins a performance of the night bonus. Whoever would have thought that would have happened? Probably not me. But for Joanne Wood at 125, had a bit of a career resurgence and a lot of split decisions. But you look at the 5-on-in for her, a win over Andrea Lee by split, a loss to Jennifer Maia by submission, and really when she beat Andrea Lee, she was in a title fight, and then it was pulled away. And then she fought Maia, and then she lost that title shot. She goes out and
No. She was still guaranteed the title shot, decided to take the Maia fight, loses, and then lost her title shot. She didn't take that because she had to. She took that because she wanted to.
Well, that's the point I'm trying to make. I guess our wires got crossed. But she fights Jessica Ai in a somewhat close fight, wins by decision, loses to Lauren Murphy by split decision, and then her last time out, fights Taila Santos and loses quickly by submission. Taila Santos gets a title shot. So, Matt, when it comes to this fight, Joanne Wood, I would say gatekeeper to the top 5, and Alexa Grasso looking to make those moves and start those grooves before they knew we were gone. So a good opportunity for Wood here. Will she be able to match the volume of Alexa Grasso at distance? Will she be able to get into that clinch, land those nice elbows, and live up to the old nickname of Dr. Knievel?
If Joanne Wood goes for a takedown before her UFC career is over, it's going to be in this fight. Because Alexa Grasso, and this is sort of the catch-22 in this fight, these are two of the worst defensive grapplers you will ever see in the UFC for where they are ranked in their division. Because here's the thing, Joanne Calderwood at one point was supposed to get a title shot against Valentina Shevchenko, but she has such a big weakness in her game, which is her overall grappling, and it's just never been a hole that she's been able to fix throughout her whole entire career. Now, I always bring up this point, we talk about Joanne Wood, and she has yet to prove me wrong. Like, an ideal Joanne Wood fight is still her winning by split decision. I always go back to this. Like, when we look up and down this card, for instance, when Kai Kara-France takes on Askar Askarov, I have a good idea as to what his game plan is going to be. It's going to be, try to work in my leg kicks, work in my jab, flurry as fast as I can because I have a big speed advantage, and defend takedowns. We can both agree that's probably going to be his game plan. Joanne Wood, no matter who her opponent is I'm going to try to get into these like single collar tie clinches, almost like Daniel Cormier, use my right elbow to land strikes, and against some fighters it works just because they sort of lack the defensive ability to get out of that one spot. But if they don't, then she's just able to tee off on them. And even against Jessica Ai, who again is a title quality fighter in this division because, you know, both these women were supposed to fight Valentina, one of them of course fighting Valentina. That was a very close fight, and that just sort of told you where the women's flyweight division was as a whole. Right now, I do agree with you. We have a bit of a resurgence right now with some of the talent, but sort of the stagnant top 5 that's been there for a while is going to have to make some kind of an improvement if they ever do want to get over that Valentina hurdle, because Joanne Wood's been talked about at the top of this division for a long time. Like you said, gatekeeper to the top 5. There's other fighters like Jessica Andrade, Caitlin Chukagian, who are all sort of in this weird stasis in the top 10 right now, and we don't really know where any of their careers are going. So this fight is a huge opportunity for Grasso to really leapfrog sort of these older vets in the division and get her name at least close to a title shot, because that's the wildest thing about this fight. With Alexa Grasso coming off 2 wins, even though she's fighting someone who's lost 2 fights in a row and 3 of her last 4, if Grasso looks impressive enough, she could probably get the winner of Santos versus Shevchenko. Like, that's how wide open this division is.
Yeah, and it really is. And I want to walk back for a second with Grasso on the takedown defense. Barber was able to go 3 of, 5 in that fight. But again, I even see that as a net positive for Grasso. You're able to get back up to your feet. You're able to establish that volume once more. You're able to win that fight somewhat convincingly. And then I look at it, the fight of the night that she had against Esparza. Esparza is able to get the takedowns. Grasso is able to really work that volume game up on the feet. So will she be able to keep Joanne Wood away? That's what we're going to find out this weekend. The odds for this one would open to plus 160. She's a plus 188 or thereabouts. For Grasso, open to minus 185. She's roughly a minus 230. We threw this out to you in the YouTube community tab. If you're subscribed, you'll see those pop up on your feed. You can
If you're not, what are you doing?
Exactly. So we have a look at the votes. 612 total votes in the last 5 hours. You guys are quicker than Tapology. 79% with Alexa Grasso, who's ranked 11th in this division. Joanne Wood at 5. Gatekeeping the top 6, I guess we could say. Out of those total votes and the comments, we have Alexa's layoff might give her a bit of an issue, but apart from that, I think her speed and hands will be too much for Wood, who hasn't been able to move her head too much in the past couple of fights. Michigonian saying minus 210 is good odds on Grasso here. First Last saying Grasso is going to outpoint her from distance and has a massive speed advantage. Wood is going to clinch and Grasso will reverse, have a dirty clinch, tee off against the cage, break, and repeat till Wood gets desperate again. And Drew Cliff with my favorite one out there saying Grasso's boxing should be the difference to stay out of the clinch and should dominate. Wood needs to close the distance and create close clinch situations, get the fight to the mat if she can, taking Grasso 100%. So Matt, the fans have Grasso. The odds have Grasso. We've talked a lot about Grasso. I have Grasso.
Quite comfortably, I think Grasso should be able to win this fight. Because for Joanne Wood, here's the question. What do you think she's improved on the most in her UFC career? Because to me, she's that same. She was a Muay Thai champion before she came to the UFC, though. She was good at that coming in. So
I was being a dingus there.
Answer the question then. She hasn't. That's the problem. I can't point to a single thing that that Joanne Wood does, and I think, wow, she's been able to improve tremendously in this. She looked great against Valerie Letourneau. That's the first women's flyweight fight in UFC history. They gave them sort of a weird special exemption before that division had ever been made. That's something I remember very well from that fight, and she destroyed Valerie Letourneau. And I really thought that was going to sort of begin, at least a new beginning, if you will, for Joanne Wood, but it never did, and she did fall back into her old habits. So I do expect Grasso to be able to go out there and really out-volume her.
Both of us going with Mexico's Alexa Grasso in this matchup. Let us know down below in that comment section who you have in this fight. And in the main event at heavyweight, we have Razor Blaydes taking on Chris Daukaus. It's Kyle's brother. You're not going to want to miss it. Keep it locked in with Fight Night Picks. We always say, let's get into it.